Hello, I'm Lawrence Coyne and welcome to Part 2, Birdcage. Part 1 was a tutorial about restricted funds. Now, if you're not familiar with them, you might want to start there. In this episode, however, the grantor becomes concerned when Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary fails to timely provide candor, transparency, and accountability. Now, on November 25th, 2019, Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary, they asked for $57,000 for their 12 exotic birds. The specificity of the ask makes this a solicited donation and therefore restricted for the stated purpose. The grant. Jungle Friends receives a $30,000 grant in June of 2020. Now, sometime before June of 2021, a year later, every one of the Jungle Friends birds allegedly tests positive for coronavirus. Now, coronavirus is a progressive and often fatal disease in birds. All birds were transferred from Jungle Friends to another sanctuary specializing in birds. The project never got started. I heard about this and I became curious, and so I sent an email. I wrote the grantor and asked them specifically, in January 2020, your foundation granted Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary $30,000 for their exotic birds. I just learned that all the birds were given to a bird sanctuary in Florida. Jungle Friends did not purchase an indoor habitat. They did not build any aviaries or hire an avian manager. Just wondering if the $30,000 was returned, transferred to the bird sanctuary, or if the restriction was lifted. When I sent the email, I doubted it would even be responded to, but they did. The next day, hi, Mr. Coyne. Thank you for your email. The board of directors has been concerned about Jungle Friends for some time, and the information that you provided has spurred additional investigation. Our board will be meeting next week to discuss how we can intervene to improve the situation for the birds and the primates at the facility. If there is anything else you would like to share with the board, they will welcome your input and preserve your anonymity as a whistleblower. I'm a whistleblower. Okay. Again, thank you for bringing these issues to our attention. Seems like that there's a certain level of concern. Then on July 18th, I received this. Again, it's paraphrased for redactions. On Monday, someone from our foundation will be reaching out to you. She is a grants researcher responsible for international and wild animal grants. Jungle Friends is one of her grantees. She will be reporting to our board during our emergency meeting of July 23rd. So on July 19th, I received this from the grant researcher. The gist of her email was that she had contacted a witness I had provided and another source to gather more information. She confirmed that she would be reporting to the board. Now, I don't know where this other source came from. I did pass the name of the first source, and I didn't really know them either. I have no idea what was discussed in either of the interviews. And there's more I don't know. I don't know what the foundation's board of directors decided to do. Don't know whatever became of the $30,000. But I know this. During the time frame that these emails were exchanged, I received an anonymous statement. And I'll give you some background to it. Now, I had set up a questionnaire in Google's Docs so past and present Jungle Friends associates could make statements. I received the statements from employees, volunteers, as well as donors. Once sent to me, there was no way for me to know who had sent it unless they disclosed their identities. The questionnaire was deliberately set not to record any email addresses. However, given the date I received it, I suspect that this is our unnamed second source. And here's what they had to say. Approximately June of 2020, we received a $30,000 grant so that we could build units for the 12 parrots that we had during the winter time. The units would house them overnight and provide heat. This was to prevent us from having to continuously catch them and move them, which caused them a lot of stress as they weren't used to being handled. These units have not been built, and when the executive director was asked about the money, we were told that it was gone. It had to be spent on general operations. Anonymous. I know, it's anonymous. Doesn't mean it's false. Doesn't mean it's true. It does sound credible. But what we need is some type of confirmation. Something concrete. Something from someone with significant access. Someone with a solid reputation. How about this? The person you are about to hear from is a founder of a successful primate sanctuary and highly regarded in their field. In July of 2021, they were on the board of directors for Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary. They were in residence at Jungle Friends to help sort out some staffing issues. They also reviewed files and accounting records. Their first-hand experience is eye-opening. Here's an email that they sent to the Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary Board of Directors. It was sent July 28th, 21. Entitled, "While the Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary Board Sits on Their Hands." I'll skip down. Grant-making organizations are banding together to deny future funding to Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary. Grantors who have entrusted designated funds to Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary will be requesting that those funds be returned. The Florida Attorney General's office has received multiple complaints from donors who want to know how their funds have been used. Grantors who have specific projects are seeking assurances that their funds have been used for those designated purposes. I am duty-bound to once again remind this board that your inaction under these circumstances violates your fiduciary duty to this organization and appears to be bordering on criminal negligence. I remind each of you that there is still only 6 staff charged with the daily care of over 250 animals. This is dangerous for the humans, deadly for the animals, and costly for the organization. Now, I care not who you choose to take what is left of this organization forward through this crisis, but you can and must act to remove Carrie Bagnall as board president and executive director now. Okay, thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe and leave comments. Happy to answer all questions. Now, please stay tuned for part 3, Mower. There we examine if Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary presented duplicates receipts to 2 separate donors. We'll see you there.